So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend and the WBO #1 at super welterweight, Josh Kelly. Josh, how you doing, mate?
Lovely, mate. I like that introduction. That was the first time someone's introduced us like that. So, yeah, I'm good, mate, but that I feel.
Hopefully next time it will be WBO Champion rather than just #1 contender. But yeah, that's in due course.
Yeah.
First up, December 16th, your latest outing back home. Rauka Nap from South Africa. Looks to be a bit of a puncher, very ambitious. What do you know about him?
He's going to come to fight, and that's better for me. That's better for me. When they come to fight, it's a lot better for me. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I feel as though I am starting to come into my prime now. I'm the best I'm going to be. So in the gym and mentally everywhere I'm at, I'm feeling as though I'm where I'm supposed to be. So this Nap's not going to have an easy night when it comes to sun, and that's it.
And as we said at the start, you are WBO #1. You're unbeaten since stepping up to 154 pounds. When you fight guys of this level, similarly ambitious, but not quite elite world level yet, what's the mentality? Is there a bit of a, I can't slip up here, or is it more, I'm going to put on a show? What are you thinking in these fights?
Just enjoy it, Danny. Like, as long as I'm enjoying it, I'm going to perform. These guys are, like you said, are on that like fringe level, and I believe I said the other day, believing in no one's two total different things. When you believe in something, you've got to have self-belief, inner belief that something might happen or something's going to happen, or you believe this while knowing something is totally different. It's a fact that you actually know it. So I'm starting to. I said before, I believe on this and believe on that. I'm starting to now know that because the people I've been in with, the people I've sparred with, the people I've trained with, the people the experience I've had throughout my career. When I look back at it, who I've been matched, I was sat there and looked back the other day, and I was like, it looks like in the UK from when I turned pro, from that the matching one I've had has been solid throughout. I've never really boxed an easy opponent, and I believe I can look at myself in the mirror and say only the top few in the world can test me when I'm on my game. And they'll test us in different aspects, not necessarily skill, but in power and strength and things like that. And probably, I mean, they're going to be skillful, but I feel like I can look at myself in the mirror and say, nah, I know I'm the best at 154, giving me best day. And if this guy can't do the same, then he's in for a hard night.
How much of the improvement over the last year or so has been physical, and how much has been mental?
Well, I think obviously you knew us since back in the welterweight days, and when I was a welterweight, I was a kid, but I was also struggling with I was sort of grown, but I was still growing. I'm a late mature. I didn't get hair on my arms till I was under my arms till I was like 18. So I'm still growing. So like taking that weight off when I was a welterweight was sort of killing us as well, up in here and obviously physically. And now I'm not at super welterweight. I'm just growing into it. I feel like a strong man, mate, and the mental side, everything. I've grew and grew and grew, and I feel like I'm in the best place I can be now. I'm in a great place in and outside the ring, so I'm enjoying it.
How much of that kind of improvement, or if that's the right word, in your mentality has been stuff you've worked on? So I don't know if you've done, I don't know, manifesting and that kind of stuff, and how much of it's just been growing up, getting married, having kids. How much of it's just been life?
A bit. I give a big percentage of that to a guy I brought on board who does all stuff to do with mindset and different things. He's actually in property, but he's just a different level. He held. It's mad. His missus just brought it the other day. And we held the longest. I think it was the Guinness World Record for the longest Ironman done unbroken. So it was like he did a swim, and it was like something stupid, like an 8-mile swim. Got straight out the water, went straight onto the bike for 100 odd miles, and then got straight off that and did a 30 odd mile run, and it took him like 40 hours and with no sleep. Do you know what I mean? And he just like, it's all a state. Just change your state like this. He doesn't care. He doesn't believe in any bullshit. So he it's really helped us. Brought him on board in the last few years and went from strength to strength. And it's like someone can tell you how good you are. Oh, Josh, you're this good, you're that good. But if you don't really take it in, you always question yourself. You're never going to fulfill your potential. But now I'm starting to realise. I said the other day to Adam, I says, it's like it's come to light. I thought, I am. I am the best when I'm on. There's not many people who can test this. So it's really starting to come to fruition. And like you said, Dan, I'm starting to mature. Got 2 lovely boys, wife and everything I have to provide for. So it's a good place where I want to win, but I don't want to win it. Before I wanted to win too much, where that would just fuck my performances up, put too much stress on us. There's a fine line between that, and I'm always going to want to win because I'm a winner. I won't even let the kids win in a fucking game of we've got these little basketballs, even at that. Do you know what I mean? I won't even let them win at that. So I'm naturally going to want to win anyways, but it's a fine line between that. And I feel like me maturing in myself mentally and spiritually more outside the ring. When I do that, when I find myself more that side, it actually levels my game up more in the boxing ring. The other day I did it just literally a couple of spars ago. Crazy. So I'm even finding things out now. So it's mental, man. It's good. It's deep, but I says to another guy, I says, listen, it's a chat for another time with some mushrooms or something like that. It's not a chat for now. Do you know what I mean? It's not a chat for now.
Right, book me in.
Yeah.
The mindset coach you've given a lot of credit to there. What's their name?
Stephen Green.
Stephen Green. Give him his due credit. And you talked about your kids there. Obviously, you've got JJ and Roman. How aware are they of what you're doing in terms of boxing, and how into it are they?
I try and let them just be themselves, mate, and want to do what they want to do. And I prefer them to do a different sport. I know boxing's what it is, and it's a hard sport. And I'm lucky to be where I am, and I'm lucky to have had the upbringing I have, because I'm sort of galvanised in it now. I would know nothing else, and even though if I tried to walk away from it, I couldn't. I'd have to bring myself back. So it's when you grow up, it gets you like that. But I want the kids to know how to look after themselves, but I also want them to do something like if they could play golf or if they could be a footballer, then it'd be just easy for me. I wouldn't have to watch them go in and think, do you know what I mean? It's life and death when it comes down to it. So in boxing, it can be that, and it's sad, but like golf, that would be a sport I'd love to put them in. I love golf myself. To have one of them go and do that would be unbelievable. So yeah, trying to change their route down.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You said you're on the cusp now of a world title shot. Maybe I said that actually, but when you first joined Wasserman, a lot of the questions, I remember the media day, a lot of the questions were about leaving Matchroom behind and why you joined Wasserman. Now that you are in that mandatory position, you're unbeaten since joining them as well. Does that kind of vindicate the decision you made? Obviously, exposure as well on Channel 5 previously.
Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember that. And I remember a lot of people just thinking, like on that day, probably a lot of people thinking, like this is going to be he's had a blip and da-da-da. But I knew in my head where I was going, what I needed to do and what I wanted to do. And we were never meant to move as fast as we have. We were meant to move a little bit slower. Because I want to sort of build myself again. Because I never had the chance to build when I was with Matchroom. It was just like, next fight, who's next? Bigger name. And like 6 fights, I think 6 or 7 fights boxing for a Commonwealth title. And in 10 fights at Madison Square Gardens boxing against Ray Robinson, who's just he's trained alongside Jerome Ennis. And now, if you look at that stuff, it's mental. The levels I was operating at young. So now it was meant to be a little bit more of a steady journey. But when the Troy Williamson fight got offered, I was like, nah, we should take that fight. And Adam was like, you think so? I was like, yeah, I truly believe Adam I'll deal with him like that. And he was like, sweet, if you feel that way, we'll do it. And Adam says, I believe in you. I just didn't know about that. And it's been similar. Every other fight that's been offered, it's either been like, or we've shared. I went, yeah, definitely that one. It's been the same with this guy. I says, yes, definitely this guy. Go on fighting. So it's my confidence is going up, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. And like he says, from when we did them interviews that day to where I am now, it's a leap. Do you know what I mean? Big leap.
How beneficial is it to have not just a promotional team that clearly believe in you, but a trainer in Adam Booth? Because even after the only defeat of your pro career, he always resolutely stuck by you, still said you were the most talented fighter he'd ever worked with.
I think he's seen what went on in the background of that late in that fight week. He actually said to me, like, and I knew. He says if previously it weren't all the stuff what happened where we had to pull out because of illness, he said I would have pulled you out because there's no way you were fighting and that, no way you were making it through 12 rounds. He says you barely slept. You were walking all night, different places in the hotel because obviously it was locked down. So I was just up in the hotel and I was drinking, trying to put myself to sleep. It was fucking crazy, mate, to get through that period. And look back, I think to myself, what was I stressing? I wasn't stressing about the fight because I'm not bothered about fighting anyone. It was stressing about winning and how important it was for me to win. And that's what brought all the other aspects, the hypochondria and I'm getting ill and that. And now it's just like, fucking hell, I've took a loss and I'm in the best position I've ever been in my career. So it just puts things into perspective. Like, things are meant to happen for certain reasons. That showed us ugly head there for me to be able to deal with, go away, sort it out. And now I'm back stronger, better, and I've got a better mindset. And the mindset's going to take us to a world title.
Well, talking of that world title, current WBO champion is, of course, Tim Tszyu at your weight. I know it's a fight you've talked about and it's a fight you'd like. Is there any kind of progress on that score?
Not at the moment, bro. Not at the moment. I feel as though there's talks of Spence and Crawford going to 154. There's talks of Tim Tszyu fighting one of them. I'm not too sure, but whilst all that's getting talked about, I'm still at WBO #1 position, so it's good. It's good to be there, still there. And obviously, there's big domestic fights out there to be had as well. So it's a nice position to be in. Get this guy, never overlook a guy in boxing. Get this guy done, and then we look into 2024. It's going to be a huge year. We've got loads of choices, bro.
And with that in mind, what do you make of Tim Tszyu as a fighter? It seems to have, like yourself, progressed a lot over the last couple of years.
He's strong. He's relentless. He can punch. Obviously, I've seen him. I think he's been put down once in his career. He's good, very good at the basics, and he does them really well. And he's got great balance. Obviously, he can punch. So that's he's got. You can see when he gets in the ring, he's got that self-belief of like, right, I'm taking you out. I'm only going to be so many rounds. I want to get you out. So it'd be good to put yourself up against someone like that and test my belief and saying like, if I don't want to be hit, I'm going to disappear for 12 rounds. So try and catch me. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be good.
And the last person you fought with that kind of mentality and that skill set, albeit at a lower level, was David Avanesian. I say a lower level, I don't know actually. Avanesian, Tim Tszyu might not be that big big favourite fight. But either way, is that one of the reasons why you relish it? The opportunity to go up against that again and show that it wasn't you that night?
Yeah, I feel like I put them doubters, a lot of doubters, to sleep when I beat Troy because of Troy's. He was coming off the back of knocking Cheeseman out. He was really starting to. He beat Mason Cartwright in a good fight, and he was like relentless, and he punched, and he had all these attributes, and everyone was like, this is just going to walk through you. And the amount of comments I look back on now, and I think these guys are crazy. You know, when you look back and you're like, that is really well. It was one of them. And so it's like it's similar to that. I feel as I put a lot of doubters to sleep in that fight, but there's always going to be naysayers, and they can't forget this, can't forget that. But truly, mate, I only really listen to the people who I've got round us and the people who I value the opinions of. Do you know what I mean? I don't really listen to too many people's opinions. Everyone's got one nowadays. So.
And you talked about big domestic fights. Conor Benn's obviously someone you've been linked with over the years many times. And they're talking about him fighting Chris Eubank Jr. finally in February. But I saw a tweet, I think it was yesterday, from Dan Raphael saying it's close to falling apart, the deal, because of Ben. He said a source told him it's because of Ben's demands money-wise. I don't know how much of that we can take for granted or who his source is, of course. But if that fight does fall apart, is that something you'd fancy still, a Conor Benn fight?
Yeah, mate, I'd step in on Conor Benn or I'd step in on Chris Eubank, 100%. Give me a chance, I'm stepping straight in to them fights. 1,000,000%, me. I believe in myself and my capability. I believe I've operated at a higher level than Conor Benn has throughout his career. But and if you look on paper, it's there to be seen. But Chris has been tested, and that would be more of a fight I'd relish to be able to beat him. I think it's coming off his wins, be more of a statement. But yeah, mate, like this boxing game it always has been, but it's been shaded by the world titles and stuff. But now it's becoming more evident, and it's all about money and eyes. How much money you can make, and how many eyes is on the sport. So that's how all these fights are getting made in these sort of like circus fights are being made. So it's not. It's went away from the old school boxing where you had the Leonard, the Hearns, the Hagler, like the best fighting the best. And back in the day, Hearns could take a loss against, say, Hagler and come back and fight someone else, Duran, and then everyone would still be rooting for them. They'd still be there. But nowadays, it's like you take a loss and no one wants to watch you, and then it's like, how much money can you make? And can he fight him? And can he go to heavyweight to fight him? And it's fucking mental. So you either jump on board and get along on this fucking crazy ride, or you either sit there and you go stale. So fuck it, I'm in for everything, bro. Count me in for fucking everything.
And that includes, if it was Eubank, would you go up to 160? You'd be happy to do that?
Yeah.
Eat a bit more in camp.
Yeah. I'll probably do more. I'll probably get in the ring like well above that. So I used to get in the ring well above that at welterweight. Wow. I used to get in the ring at welterweight well above that. So I'll be comfortable at 160.
Well, I think it's right what you say, because you look at the Saudi show that was formally announced last night, and you've got all those major heavyweight fights, not a world title among them. You know, there's world titles on the undercard, but not a heavyweight in the main fights.
That's what I'm saying. You got Frank Warren now, Eddie. Do you know what I mean? There's only one reason why they're working together. It's just apparent, bro. It's there to be seen. And like, yeah, Saudi's obviously the place to put the boxing on now, because they've got the most pull, the most money as well. And it looks a great place to box, bro. I wouldn't mind getting over there and boxing. But like you said, yeah, there's heavyweights there, and all just names, and it's all just fantasy fights, and it's like it's great because people can put him up against him, and if he wins, and what about them? And it's just legitimate fights like Joshua Wilder and Usyk and Fury and different things like this. Them in a fight, really, if you think about it, if we got that over and done with, then the heavyweight division would not be quiet, but would be a little bit less. It's good the way not good, but it's the way they're promoting it makes it last a little bit longer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the people that win the other heavyweight fights on the undercard then can step up and fight a Joshua or Wilder later on. Yeah,
exactly, bro. You know the score, Dan. I think feel as though people who's got no eye in around boxing know what's going on, and you've got to appeal to the masses, and that's what this life's about.
Great stuff, Josh. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck, obviously, on the 16th of December, and let's catch up again after.